everybody, I welcome you all to a new day, new video with a great news for all of you. I really feel immensely delighted to announce before all of you that we have launched our course of spoken English on our app Officer's Mind. The course is basically divided into two categories, one for the beginners, the basic course, and the other one for the advanced English learners, the advanced course. Don't get out in the hustling and bustling crowd of the city or go to any coaching center or approach any tutor and ask them for help. Ask them to teach English to you. You do not have to do that. Seriously, you just have to take your phone or any other gadget or gizmo that you feel comfortable with. You can download our app Officer's Mind and avail this course of spoken English from there. The link for the same is mentioned in the description box below. So for further details, you can surely check out the link that is mentioned below. So getting back to the primary concern of our video today. Today we are going to talk about a topic that actually puts us in an awkward situation, that creates an awkward silence when we meet a new person and we do not know what to talk, and how to initiate a conversation with that person. So today we are going to learn how to gradually, smoothly, in a very friendly and smart way, initiate a conversation whenever we meet a new person. Alright? There are a lot of times that life puts us in a situation where we get to regularly meet a lot of new people. Every time we do not have to deal with the same people, the same old people whom we have already known. The same acquaintances whom we have been meeting, whom we have been interacting with since a very long period of time. Life always brings new people in our lives, and when we maintain relations, when we are able to interact, communicate with them in a good way, certainly it is going to benefit us, be it professionally or personally. So talking to a stranger in an effective and impressive way is very important. Now, when you see a person for the first time, naturally your mind is going to form an impression about somebody, alright? So I really do not suggest you to judge a book by its cover, because many a time we are proven wrong when we judge a book by its cover. But I would really suggest you that on the basis of your mental faculty, try to analyze and judge a person, not on the basis of his or her physical appearance. Certainly physical appearance is going to convey a lot of things about that person, which might prove to be right or wrong. But apart from the physical appearance, you can also judge that person, judge that stranger whom I'm talking about, on the basis of the way he interacts with people in his environment, on the basis of the way he responds to the various factors of the environment. For example, if he's interacting with a servant or if he's interacting with a waiter, suppose in an event, you can certainly judge how the person is. The person is arrogant, the person is rude, the person is mulish, or the person is lovable and humble enough. Alright? So you need to make a judgment, you need to analyze the person, and then you have to decide whether is that person right also, that I should approach that person and make friends with that person, because of course you always want to be friends, you always want to communicate or come in contact with those people who are humble and benign enough to offer you a modest treatment, alright, who must have some good manners and etiquettes. You never want to approach a person who is peevish and arrogant, alright. So you need to form a judgment about that person and then decide whether that person is worthy of your contact, or whether that person is worthy even of your friendship or not, alright. After you're convinced of the fact that yes, I want to make friends with that stranger, you're attracted towards that person, you're fascinated towards that person. Now there are two approaches to approach that person. Approach number one, that's very direct and straightforward way, wherein you boldly and confidently go and introduce yourselves to that person and just give an introduction about yourself very boldly and confidently, and state your purpose, why you have come to that, why you have actually approached that person also. So you just go, hi, I'm Nidhi, I just want to make friends with you. I was really fascinated by your personality, or I just saw you doing this. Like you can just come up with a good point about that person, start appreciating that person. What did you really like in that person? Why were you attracted or fascinated towards that person? But of course, whatever you're saying should be in a very decent, modest and humble tone, alright? So you can just straightforwardly put your thoughts in front of that person, and if the person is really interested, certainly the person would respond to you, alright? So this is a straightforward, bold, confident approach. If you're really confident about yourself, if you're bodacious enough, then only use this approach. Otherwise, we have the second approach, we have a second resort, of course, and that is you can use a very indirect and zigzag way of interacting with somebody. For example, you are in an event in your college, or you're standing in a queue in your college, alright, and you are attracted by somebody. and you just want to make friends with them, what you really do, just try to be around that person in a very tricky way, so that the person really does not get to know that you are actually trying to be around them because you want to interact with them. So be smart, all right? Don't be clever. I would rather suggest you to be smart. So smartly just try to be around that person and just try to put forward certain tricky questions which are very natural on your part. For example, you are new to your college and you just want to make friend with a person who's standing right beside you, all right? So you would just ask a very general question like, is it your first time here? This is a question that is very natural because you are also new to that college and the person might be there in that college since a long time, all right? So this is a very natural question that you can ask. Is it your first time here? Do you come here often? Or how's the atmosphere of college? Who is the teacher of science? Or whatever, the general questions that you can pick up on the spot, okay? So this is not a fixed question that I'm telling you. The questions you need to frame on the basis of the situation that you are in. And the questions would, of course, be framed on the spot. They have to be framed spontaneously. You cannot just decide them beforehand. All right? Or you can just pick up certain general topics that the other person would be able to respond on. All right? After asking these prelusive questions, what you can really do is that you can just pick up certain very general questions, like certain questions or certain topics like current affairs, COVID-19, you can take this topic, or is mask compulsory, have you got vaccinated, or whatever you have to, pick up. Regarding politics, you can pick up some topic, you can talk regarding weather, all right? So there are certain general topics that anybody can indulge in, all right? Anybody can give a response to that question when you put forward those questions, all right? So just pick up those general topics and start conversing, and then gradually just move ahead. Start asking how long has it been to you in this college, or just start asking their names or other details about them, which class they are in, which section they are in, all right? So you can just extract the other details about that person very gradually. So I'm not really telling you to just bump into them suddenly in the second approach. Just be gradual, be steady, be slow in your approach towards them. Make them feel comfortable with you. Try to be very humble, decent, and the person in front of you is really smart enough, all right? So you also need to act very smartly, all right? So you need to put your questions, you need to put your behavior in front of that person according to the level of understanding, according to the mental level, according to the smartness, the confidence of that person. If the person is really meek and humble, you also need to present yourself in the same way. If the person is really very strong, bold and confident, you also need to present yourself in the same way. If the person is arrogant, then I would really suggest you to withdraw from that person and just, draw your lines, draw your limits where you have to stop, all right? Don't try to overindulge into somebody's business. Don't poke your nose into somebody's business. Make friends with people only if they are also interested in making friends. Otherwise, you've got, a lot of second options, all right? When you're interacting with a person for the first time, what really leaves an impression about you more than your words is your body language. Because before you even utter a single word, your actions speak for you. Your body language speaks for you. When your body is acting as a language, it is actually conveying a lot of things about you. If you have to impress the other person, what you really need to take care of is the fact that your body language is modest, decent and impressive enough to be able to impress the other person. Now, in your body language, what really matters the most, see, there are a lot of factors in body language. We just cannot discuss the entire thing because it's an entirely a big session for 1, 2 or 3 hours, all right? But I'm just giving you certain simple tips. When you're meeting somebody, your face conveys a lot of things about you, all right? So when you're talking to somebody, you must have an eye contact with them. And eye contact, if you're making with them, that really conveys a lot of confidence about you, okay? If your eyes are drooping, if you're looking here and there or upwards or in some other direction, all right? Of course, the person would feel that the person is not confident enough. Your eyes speak louder than words, all right? So this is actually the truth, okay? So make your eyes convey confidence, all right? Apart from confidence, apart from your eyes, there is also one more very important part of your face that conveys a lot of things about you, and that is this, your smile. Yes, it's your smile. Now, whatever makeup you're wearing, that does not matter. Whatever jewelry you're wearing, whatever dress you're wearing, a hi-fi coat or anything fancy, that does not really matter. What really matters is the charm on your face that is created by your smile. Smiles are contagious. When you pass a smile to a stranger, like when you're talking to that stranger, when you're smiling, of course, it would make the stranger feel positive about you. It would make that person feel more comfortable with you. It would leave a modest impression of yours onto that person, all right? So smile, and of course the smile is contagious. You are going to smile at that person, the person is certainly going to smile back at you if the person is interested in you. All right, so smile, because smile is the best makeup. Be joyous, but I don't really suggest you to grin, all right, because grinning would leave an undesirable impression of yours onto somebody. We don't have to grin. We have to have a very warm, gentle, friendly smile that welcomes the other person, and the person feels more comfortable interacting with us. All right? When you have already indulged into a conversation with a person, now you also have to end that conversation. So the ending of that conversation should also be very polite and positive. You just cannot simply break that conversation because you are done. You're bored with that. You have to take care of the emotions, the feelings of the other person, the respect of the other person, all right? So make sure that you're breaking your conversation, you're ending your conversation on a very positive note. Greetings, the closing greetings I'm talking about. Now, they also play a very important role. For example, you can just shift the focus of that person when you have to end the conversation in a very humble and smooth way. Like you can just, check the time in your watch, or you can just, check some messages on your phone, and just you can just say that my spouse is awaiting me, or my child is awaiting me, my mom is awaiting me, or my work awaits me. Okay, I have to get going. Like, these are some of the very polite phrases. Or I'll let you carry on then. All right. So these are some of the very impressive and polite phrases that you can form on the spot. All right, on the spur of the moment, on the basis of this situation. Okay, so use certain polite phrases, wish them good bye, or wish them good night, good evening, great day, all right? Wish them certain good things at the closing of the conversation, all right? So this is actually going to indicate, denote the good manners that you possess, the good etiquettes that you have in your personality. Also, when you're ending the conversation, the art of making the eye contact is important. I understand, like I talked to you about eye contact, but the art of breaking the eye contact is equally important, all right? So when you're talking to somebody, all right, you're making an eye contact. You're constantly blinking your eyes, you're nodding your head when you're in conversation with that person, but the conversation has ended and suddenly you just move your head this way or this way. Is the person really going to feel good about you? That you just suddenly turned your head towards the other direction without, paying due respect to that person. So breaking the eye contact in a very polite, natural, gradual way is equally important, so the other person does not feel offended, all right? So break the eye contact, like very slowly, just nod your head, start looking here or there in your watch, or just start reading something, or just start focusing on the other elements of the environment. Okay, just start looking at some other place in some other direction, and then shift back your focus to that person. Then constantly you have to, shift your focus somewhere else and then back to that person, so that the person also gets an idea, a clue that you really want to break the conversation. The person also gets ready for that mentally, gets prepared for that mentally, all right? So breaking the eye contact is equally important. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're saying to the other person, there are two factors which really matter the most. Number one, your confidence, all right? Number two, your humility and your modesty, all right? So you have to be gentle, at the same time you have to be strong. So you need to be a combination of the two things together when you're interacting with a new person, so that you leave the desired impression of yours on that person, all right? So these are all the tips that I wanted to give you, that I wanted to share with all of you. When you come across a new person, when you come across a stranger and you want to make friends with them, you want to leave a very favorable impression of yours on them. So that's all from my side. I really hope that you relished the lesson with me. I'll catch you up in my next video. Until then, live English, learn English, and love English with Nidhi. Happy learning!